Hi everyone. So this is the third video on Oracle 19c Multitenant architecture, and today we'll talk about creating a container database. So uh, bef- before that, I also have to install the Oracle 19c software in my laptop. So basically, you also uh, can download and install it. If you have not, if you don't have 19c in your laptop, you can install it. Just you have to go to uh, Oracle website, and then you go to Oracle database, and then we'll see Oracle 19. So you can download. So it will ask for a login ID and password. So you have to you don't have one, you can create one account for yourself and download it, and then it will uh, you have to download the Windows software, and then it will download it as a zip file, and then you can do a extract all. So it will extract to this folder like this. So all the just a minute. Yeah. So all these files in folder, you just have to run this setup.exe. Let's quickly run through this wizard. This is just to install the software. After that, we'll use another utility, DBCA, to create the container database. We're not going to create here. This is a universal Oracle universal installer. That is an option of creating a database also. With this, it actually in turn invokes DBCA, database configure and assistant, to create DB, but we'll just install the software only. So we'll just click setup software only. Will not create configure database now. Next. So this is same as what you have installed any other version of Oracle software. So it is very similar. Single instance. Let's go for Enterprise Edition. So use Windows built-in account. So because I'm just installing this in my personal laptop, and so I'm just going for the very basic configuration, so not to complicate much, because then you can add more features later on if you want, but now just let's go with the very basics options, and so that you can create the software and database quickly. Oracle. So the installation is complete, and so if you go start, and then you can actually see Oracle 19c home here, and then you can run DBCA from here. So as you can see, the DBCA is open, and so we'll go for create a database. It is very similar to what we have done, what we normally do for any non-CDB creation process also. It's so couple of things I want to discuss before I move ahead with the screen. Few there are few things you need to consider while creating a CDB. Some prerequisite and planning. You have to in a real world environment, when you're creating a container database, you have to think about how many PDBs you're going to add to this CDB, what would be the space and memory requirement. Although most of things can be reconfigured again later, there is a max PDBs parameter which tells you how many PDBs you can, what is the maximum number of PDBs you can plug in to this container database. So that also has to be set appropriately, and what would be the location of all the physical files, redo log, data file, control file for for the CDB, and for also for the each PDB also, because every PDB will have its own data file, and but redo log, control file and archive files are common for the entire CDB. So an enable pluggable database parameter must be true. This is anyway, if you are creating through a DBCA, most of this parameter will be set for you. And character set, so few points about character set. Oracle recommends for L32 UTF-8 for CDB character set, and L16 UTF-6 for national character set, because if your CDB is set character set is at 32 UTF-8, you can plug in from 19c from 12.2, I think you can plug in any PDBs with any character set. So your CDB and PDB can have different character set, but if your CDB is not set to this 32 UTF-8, you will not have this benefit. So Oracle recommends always keep the container database with 32 UTF-8 character set, so you can plug in PDBs like this. You are consolidating your database into 19c multi-tenant format, and then so you have to migrate database, your non-CDB database, from a lower version or from 12c also, from different server. So each database could be having different character set. So consolidating into this one CDB could be a problem if your CDB doesn't have this character set. Then there are other method of converting your database into a single character set and then plugging in, and there is a database migration assistance you can use to do that, but always maintain this character set. Time zone, you can set the time zone for entire CDB. You can set one time zone for all your PDBs and CDBs, or you can set a time zone for individually for each PDB, so it's no problem. Temporary table space, CDB and PDB will have their own default temporary table space. Individually, everybody will have their own default temporary table space. Everybody will use it. Only CDB will have a shared temporary table space that can only be used by CDB, and it will be used mostly for recursive SQLs. Just for just information that when you have to specify the files for temporary, and then you have undo table space also. So so you can create one active undo table space for CDB, for the entire CDB, so everybody can use the same undo table space, or you can create separate undo table space for your container CDB and PDB. So there are few things just to understand and consider when you're creating your container database. Most of the things will be set for you if you're creating through DBCA, and most of the things you can also configure later if you want to. So since we're creating our first container database, we'll go with all the basics option, no need to complicate things, and then as we learn more and more, we will try to see how to add some advanced options and how to create those. And there are two ways of creating a database using this DBCA, and this is the graphical user interface method. There are another way of creating from the command line, which is create pluggable create database command. We will also learn how to create a database using create database command in some of the later videos. But I'm just trying to keep it very simple and easy for our first container database, and just go ahead and create one, and then we can log into the container database and play around with it. So let's click on this advanced configuration, and let's go through all these screens and see what each one means and how we can fill in. So it is very similar to older version DBCA format, so it should be, if you've used it before, you should be very familiar. Nothing great about it. Just we'll create one general purpose database, and this is single instance database. So we'll get global database 1, SID will be CDB1. Create as a container database, or you have option for create an empty container database or create a container database with one or more PDBs. We'll go with empty container database because we'll create PDBs later individually. So let's go for next. So use template for database. This is the for the storage location, and you have to give the path. So we'll go with some very basics and default options, not to complicate things, because we're creating our first container database. So default file database file location is Oracle base or a data DB unique name. After that, you'll have data file here. DBC will automatically create data file folder, redo logs, and everything. It will create under this. If we create Oracle manage file OMF, so it will automatically create folder and files for you, file naming convention, and yeah. So let's go next. Let's just go with the default option. That should be enough for us. So this is for the first recovery area. So it is using the default option location Oracle base first recovery area unique name. So maybe we'll keep it for some 3 GB for first recovery area. And so we need archiving for FRA to work. So normally I change this DBF to ARC because this DBF will get confused with database files. Let's go for next. Okay, this is less than recommended value, but we'll go ahead with this because this is just, we're not going, just for basic configuration, this is fine. So this they're asking you to create a listener. First it will create a listener, and then it will create database. Listener 1, maybe I'll just put next. Oracle level security, Oracle database vault, this option will not use. Let's go ahead. So this is for the memory, and so if in your laptop, if you don't have a lot of memory, no need to worry about. You can run with very minimum memory also. Only thing you have to do is you have to go to sizing tab, and this number of processes we need to, let's say you can do like 100 processes or even 80, 75. Let's say go with 75 processes. So if you keep the number of processes low, you can actually run your database with lower memory also. For example, now it says use automatic shared memory. So shared memory, you're giving both SGA and PGA. SGA is 2 GB and this is 800, PGA is 800. So let's say we'll just go for, this is for manual option, manual memory management. You can give memory for individual component, but we'll just go for automatic memory management, where you have to give memory target and it will manage both SG and PGA. So that's an easier and straightforward option. Let's say we'll give just for 1 GB, because if you look at my task manager, you can see, if you go to performance, you can say I have 7.9 GB, out of what 3.3 GB is used. So you can also try to give lower memory. Let's say if you don't have enough memory in your laptop, you can go for like I don't know, 750 MB and see if it works. Sizing, I put it 75 processes. Character set, as I said, you have to go for L30 UTF-8 character set, and for national character set L16 UTF-16. So this is the safest one, the Oracle recommended option. Connection mode, anyway, dedicated server mode, and sample schema, we're not creating any sample schema, so go next. It's giving option error. The automatic memory management option is not allowed when the total physical memory is greater than 4 GB. Okay, so we'll go for automatic shared memory management. Let's say I use for 750 MB for this, and just 200 MB, 300 MB for PGA. So I'm trying to run with minimum memory and see if it works. So this is for the enterprise manager, cloud control, and for EM Express. So enterprise manager, cloud control, where you can, it's centralized monitoring, where you can add lot of all your database for monitoring. That you have to install your OMS and EM cloud control separately. This is for the EM Database Express. This is also kind of a lightweight version of EM control, but you can monitor only a single database, this database only. It used to be I think it was to be database control, I think in previous version its name was. Now they changed it to EM Database Express, and the functionality before in database control it was almost same as in enterprise manager. Only difference was in database control you can monitor only in your that one database, single database for which it is which it is been created. So almost all the functionality was available, but I've seen this EM Database Express is a little kind of a lightweight version of cloud control, and a lot of functionality you might not see here. But we'll not go for this option, we'll keep it simple. The less option you use, it will be faster, it will take less time to create, and we'll go for same administrative password. This is for your sys and system password. Create option and create database, save a database template, generate database script. We're not going for this, we're just going for create database, and then go for next. Let's go for and see and click on. So everything is done. Now just click on finish. It will take some time. It will copy the database files from Oracle that software, and then it will configure it. Okay, so finally my database is created, CDB1, and this is my parameter file, SB file, cdb1.ora. So let's close this. And if you go to services, you can say that CDB1 service is running. So if you let's open a command prompt. Yeah, so as you can see, it is a 19c database. Because you are creating through DBCA, normally it will set up all your environment variable like Oracle SID and Oracle base, Oracle home, everything. So you don't have to pretty much do anything. Just even SQL plus, it will also add the SQL plus executable file to your path variable. So you just type SQL plus /SSDB, it will connect. So normally I'm now connected to a CDB, but normally like a non-CDB you can also do CDB1 read write. Show, there's a command called show container name. So this is CDB $root. So I'm at the root container now. If I say so PDBs, so as you can see there's only one PDB, which is the seed PDB, as I've explained in previous slides. So you'll have this CDB, this is the root container, and this is my CDB and my seed PDB. Now I've not created any other PDB in this container, so this is the only one seed PDB we have. So then we can create our own PDBs for different applications, and you can connect to plug into this root. So you can see in $, database table we have one CDB on ID, and it's varchar to 3 CDB. And so if you say, and there is a DB unique name here. So if you do select name, open more CDB and con ID from $, database. So this is a CDB, yes, that means this is a container database, and the con ID, container ID is 0. For root this is a root container. For the root container, container ID is always 0. And you can do show PDBs, as I said, only seed PDBs there. So in the next video we'll create pluggable database, and from CDB and from there are different methods of creating PDBs. So we'll explore more into that. So that's it for this video. So we created the container database. So thanks for joining. Thanks. Bye bye.